All right, so today we are entering the final week of our course, and we're going to be covering three things, Gmail, Google Groups, and Hangouts. So the first thing that I want to cover with you all is the Gmail. I have emailed everyone individually a test Gmail account because, as you know, as a district, we use Outlook. So you might be thinking, why do I need to learn this? But it's important because your students are working in the Gmail space. So they have a lot of these tools and availability to them. And it's also going to be on the certification exam. So with the email that was sent to you, you can go ahead if you want to go to google.com. As always, you can use your Waffle, or there's usually a Gmail tab there, and then you can use that account to log in. So it'll be something AF class 01 through 45, schk12.us, and your password should be the same. Oop. Let me just double check my passwords before I tell you that. Okay, and your password should be the beginning part of that email address. So mine was AF class 01. So when you log in, the first thing that you're going to see is usually some welcome to Gmail emails that'll be in there. But this is what a very basic Gmail account looks like. So you have your inbox, your starred, which you don't have to set anything, that's automatically there. Things that are snoozed. So sometimes if you get an email, you want to, turn it off for a certain period of time and then it'll pop back up, kind of like your alarm clock every morning. You can do that. Your sent drafts, if you click more, you have an important label, you have chats scheduled, so things that you've scheduled to go out, spam, trash, categories, different categories that you can put things in, and then your labels, which we'll get to in a minute. So the first thing that I want to kind of show you here is you have this inbox. You can also set different inboxes if you'd like. So there's a way for you to kind of break things down so that you can put them into different categories. If you go over to your settings and configure your inbox, you have a primary, and then you can add all of these other different inboxes. So for instance, on my personal Gmail, I have a social inbox and I have a promotional inbox. My social inbox are any alerts that I get for social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, things like that will go directly into my social. Promotions are things, oh, get a coupon to buy this, and it'll go directly into promotions. So you can add as many as you want. I'm just going to click social and promotions and save. And now you'll see up here at the top, I have three separate inboxes. So I can also create rules. So for this Gmail tips for using your new inbox, I can click on that and I can filter these messages and say that every time I get something from mail no reply at Google, I want that to go to a certain spot or be added somewhere. So I'm going to create my filter and I'm going to say that any mail from this address, I want it to go to my mark as read, or I want it to go to a certain category. So I want it to go to updates because it's an update, and then create that filter. So now anytime I get an email from this email address, it's going to go directly into that box that I put it in. Another awesome thing in Gmail is your ability to create labels. So if you come down here under manage labels or create new labels, I can create a new label. Maybe it is parent contacts. I can nest it under other labels, but I'm just going to leave it there for now. So I'm going to create that. Now you see that it doesn't pop up over here. If you go to manage labels, there's a lot of stuff in here that we're not going to touch on right now, but here's my labels. I can tell I have these different tabs across the top. I have this labels tab, and I'm going to go down here and you'll see that I have created this parent contact label, but right now it is set to hide. So I am going to make sure that the blue show is up, showing up there. And now when I go back to my inbox, why didn't my label show? So it should be showing my parent contacts, should be showing. And now I have that parent contact label. So again, you don't have this capability because we work in Outlook as Hammond teachers, but this is available to the students if they want to be able to, you know, organize their email box a little bit better. I can also, once I've created that, I can change my label color if I wanted to change it to something other than the grayed out color that it gives you. And then I can go ahead and click on emails and move them to that label. I can search by label. So if I wanted to search parent contacts, I can search and it'll bring up any email that is in that label. If you want to compose emails, you can click compose, set up just like your normal compose box in any email. You have down here your ability to add attachments and pictures and links and things like that. Your CC and BCC is there. So that's a great feature. Now, one of the things that they do ask you about on the exam, or at least they asked me and they're having us cover it, is to translate your emails. So this comes in handy if someone sends you an email in a different language, or if a parent feels more comfortable or a student feels more comfortable communicating in that other language. So when you have the open message, you can go to these three settings, which if you've kind of been paying attention all along, when we're in any app, a lot of times it will have those three vertical dots, and I'll say, hey, go to the three vertical dots, and that's going to be your settings most of the time. So one of the settings here is I have a translate message. When I click that, I have a new little toolbox here, and it'll say detect language, and so it has to detect what language the message is in, and then I want it to translate to Spanish. Took just a second, and now you see that this whole message is translated to Spanish. Or maybe I want to go to Romanian. Okay, it's going to translate it into that language. So Google Translate is pretty powerful. I know people say that there are some kinks with it and things that don't work so well, but it's an option when communicating with students using Gmail. Okay, so very briefly, you can kind of go through and navigate a little bit in the test account that was given to you. But you have your print button, you have it allowed in its own window. You can star this just like you can star things in your Google Drive to make sure that they're more important, and then they'll show up over here and you're starred. So play around a little bit with the with your Gmail inbox. You also over here have your tasks and your Google Keep. So that's a nice feature because it does correlate with the Google Calendar. So again, on the student end, there's a lot of cross collaborative tools in all of the apps.